Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Charles Thompson. Honored to be with you to help educate you on the benefits of solar. Now, I'm speaking to two audiences today, and that is you, perhaps who are live, and at the end of this, you'll be able to have questions answered while we're live, and then those who have been shared a recorded version. Our goal in the recorded version is to help educate you on the benefits of going solar so that when you sit down with one of our professionals, they're going to be able to answer your final questions and then walk you through the value proposition from an economic standpoint. So with that said, let me address some of the typical myths that exist in solar today. Oftentimes people feel that solar is too expensive. The reality is it's too expensive to continue to rent energy from the monopolized utilities, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. In addition to that, a lot of people feel, hey, maybe I don't get enough sun. If you're in a sunny area, you may say that's silly. Well, why I talk about this is because what we're going to do is we're going to look at 35 years of weather data. So when we put together a designed savings report for you, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the historical weather patterns in your longitude and your latitude, so right where you are based. That way, when we show you the estimated production that the system's going to do, you know it's accurate. It's not just a guess, it's scientific. A lot of times people say, well, technology is improving too fast. I'm just going to wait. Well, I've been in the industry for 11 years. I've been around energy for 35 years. And the technology has advanced to a point where it almost can't advance any further. So the early adopters 10, 11 years ago, they might have a whole different conversation. But with regard to you, you're looking at the best technology that this industry has. And just think, if you wait around another 20 years, how much more are you going to continue to pay for energy that you're renting? We're going to talk a little bit about that value proposition. Whereas in this particular case, you have the ability to own your own power plant on your roof. Technology changes, we're going to adapt with it, and it will probably be something you can retrofit with your home. The other question people have, should I lease? Should I own? What should I do? Well, the best thing for us to do is to let you know we have every option available. From a loan, from a cash deal, to power purchase agreements, to leases, whatever is best for you and your professional consultant. He or she will be able to sit with you and know exactly the right financial vehicle for you. One of the beauties of what we do here at Power is we actually have a wide array of options, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Well, let's say I'm going to move in a couple of years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. That's good to know, because as you're going to learn at the end of this presentation, this is an actually add value to your home, and we'll walk you through how you can leverage this investment that you make into your home and add value at the same time. And then lastly, I don't know who to trust. That's why we focus on education. You will not hear any high-pressure sales tactics or gimmicks, anything along those lines. At the end of this presentation, and if you think this is viable, then we'll encourage you to book your time to see the actual savings proposal that we'll put together for you. And again, no pressure. At the end of that, you'll be better informed. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about energy. The main source of our energy today comes from dirty sources, coal, oil, gas, etc. There's over 7,000 power plants like that in the United States alone. And it's dirty, it's pollution. And our goal is to reduce pollution across the